Greetings and salutations. Mr. Classic here once again in Mr. Classic's haberdashery at the Manor. And I would like to thank you for joining me for another episode of Conversations at the Manor. Today's episode, we're going to talk to you about a few different types of suits every man should have in his collection. As always, I like to start my day off with a delicious cup of tea. This morning, I'll be drinking a organic Earl Grey tea. Now, before I actually pour this, if you've noticed, I love these one-of-one antique teacups. I'm gonna show you this one in particular. Like, look at that. That's just beautiful. I don't know if you can catch that on the camera, but just beautiful. Yeah, so I'm very big on those one-of-one teacups. I believe this one was made in England, so very fitting. So we're gonna have an English Earl Grey tea, organic Earl Grey tea, with our English handmade teacup here. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna go through a few different jacket options here. The first being with the least amount of buttons, and then we'll graduate to the most amount of buttons that you can have on a jacket, or that you should have on a jacket rather. So the first one we're looking at here today is the blazer. So one button blazer. Now the blazer jacket, you'll see it coming nowadays in various different colors. It's more towards the style rather than what it was meant for before. It was primarily used as like your member-only jackets, that type of situation. Now it's just anything that's broken up, so the pant would not match the jacket. So the one-button blazer, most of the times you'll see it with notched lapel rather than peaks, as I have it on this particular jacket, and then two flap pockets, or sometimes the besom pockets, which are just the slits across without the third additional ticket pocket there. And as I previously stated, it will be worn with a different color trouser. So with this particular blazer being in a royal blue, you can wear with a gray trouser, which will look really nice, a camel color trouser, more of a tan brown color trouser. Those will look really nice against this. Different occasions that you would find appropriate for a blazer would be your after hours, after work, grabbing a drink with your colleagues type of event. Networking events work great for this type of outfit, as well as, let's say, brunches, like a Sunday brunch with a couple of friends. You don't want to dress up too much to where you're standing out from the crowd, but then again, you don't want to be too casually dressed. So doing a blazer, a nice white collared shirt, you can even wear jeans with it. You can even pull off the jeans sometimes with it, but only dark colored jeans, not light jeans. So with the dark colored jeans, maybe a nice boating shoe like Sperry's, or a nice loafer, that would be a great look for a Sunday evening type of event, networking event, a after hours business meeting with clients, or after hour drinks with colleagues. The blazer would be a great outfit for that. So the one button blazer is our first jacket construction for your must-haves in a gentleman's closet. All right, let's move on from there. All right, before we go into our next jacket construction, I was very much so scolded during the breaks. I did not introduce my featured model guest today. This is Conrad. He is one of our more recent additions to the Mr. Classics mannequin crew. So this is Conrad. I wanted to make sure I introduced him. So when you see him in the window, you'll recognize him. Anyway, so moving right along. So this jacket construction is going to be the 2-button, and I didn't mention this on the first jacket, but it's a single breasted. So what that means, single breast, so it's not crossing over in the front as a double-breasted would be. Your lapel points are meeting in the middle, and it's just a single closure. So double-breasted, which we'll look at later on, the jacket would fold over each other like this. So this is a 2-button. I'm going to button up this last one just so you can see that it's a 2-button, but never button this last one in reality. 2-button, single-breasted construction. Now, with this jacket construction, I went with more of a blazer type of approach in designing it. So as I said on the previous jacket, your typical blazers you would see would be with notch lapels, as this one is, and then 2 flap pockets, or the besom pockets. Now, you can have this as the full suit, which would just mean the jacket matches the pant, and if you did a 3-piece, the vest as well. You can even do a contrast vest, but the jacket would be matching the pants, and that would be your full suit construction. This particular one, let me bring those out here. I went with a contrast camel colored trouser. So take a look at that. So that works beautiful together. So you can either do this as a full suit or as the contrasting pants, which will make it more of a blazer type of look. So the 2-button single-breasted construction, this is great for your everyday business outfit. So every gentleman should have one of these or multiple of these in his wardrobe. I would say more of this construction than any other, just because of the versatility with it. So you can wear it as the full suit, or you can wear it as a blazer with jeans, with chinos, contrast trousers, and what have you. So this is our second type of construction, the 2-button single-breasted blazer or suit. Moving right along into our next jacket construction, there are going to be 2 versions of this that I'm going to show you. So this particular one is a 3-on-2 button construction, single-breasted, but the special feature here is, let me button this one up here. There are 2 buttons, but 3 buttonholes. So there's an extra buttonhole here. So I need to actually do some more research on it of why the extra buttonhole was there without the button behind here. I haven't really dived too far into that, but I'll have that information for you guys later on. So with this construction, we have as I said, 3 buttonholes, but only 2 actual buttons. And in this same construction, only button the middle button, of course. Leave the bottom one open. So with this construction, same as the 2-button would be, you can have it with the matching pants. This you would want to see more of a suit rather than just a blazer. And I just wanted to show you guys this just so you have an understanding of what it is and that it's out there. It's not too common in the business world, and it's not too much of something that you would say I have to have in my closet as a gentleman, but just something that you would look at and say, I've graduated to having a wide assortment of suits. Let me see what other kind of cool features in my suits I can add to have some variation, if you will. So this is one of those suits. I'm going to show you another kind of suit that goes along with this as well. Not my particular design. I have acquired this at a antique vintage store. I just loved it, so I just had to get it. It's one of those situations. But definitely, if you would like something along the same lines, I can have it made as well. So in the high tweed fabric, the 3-on-3, so 3 buttons, 3 buttonholes, patch pockets, what have you. This is definitely a statement type of jacket that you would wear. It's not something that you have to have in your collection, but it's something that you should have. So for the winter times, to add a little bit of variety to your suiting wardrobes, you would want something like this. Now, there is a rule to the button construction, or how you button it rather. So being the 3 buttons, there is a sometimes, always, and never. So sometimes you can button the top one, always button the middle one, but never button the bottom one, right? So that's the rule of thumb when it comes to button stance on the single-breasted. Now, another feature that I did not mention in the previous coats, so the pockets on this one, the previous jacket, the previous 2-on-3 construction, it had patch pockets. That's something you can also find on blazers, are the patch pockets. It leads for it to be more casual, definitely something you can wear more with jeans when you have the patch pockets on there. So bear in mind on that as well when you're designing, where you're getting a custom or bespoke suit made to request. If you want it to be more casual, request the patch pocket versus the flap pockets or the besom / pockets. Yeah, so with this, the 3-on-3 notch lapels, heavy tweed, this is a great coat to have for the winter time. Yeah, so this is gonna be our 3-on-3 construction. Our next suit jacket construction we're gonna look at is the double-breasted. Now, similar to how the single-breasted had multiple different options as far as the button stance, you can have the single-breasted 1-button, 2-button, the 2-on-3 or the 3-on-3. The double-breasted comes in the same type of constructions. We're gonna look at the 6-button, but I can explain the other button stances as well. So the 6-button, of course, means there's 6, and you would commonly hear it referred to as a 6-on-2. Now what that means is there are 6 buttons. Let me button up this last one just so you can see. There are 6 buttons, but only 2 of them are actually functional. So 2 you can open up like so. Now there are also what's called the 6-on-1, which means that 6 buttons, but only the bottom one is in use. So you would see that construction as well. Now from there, taking it down even further, you will also see a 4-on-2, which means these 2 buttons here are non-existent, and you have the 4 buttons. Let me button this one back up just so you can see the 4 buttons, and the 2 are functional. Now, the last common way of seeing it is the 2-on-1. So the 2-on-1, of course, as you would have guessed, there are only 2 buttons and only 1 of them are functional. You would see that construction more so in tuxedo jackets. So weddings, formal wear, you'll see that 2-on-1 construction a lot more than you would the 6-button. I myself particularly love the 6-button construction, the 6-on-2. I might sometimes mix it up and do a 6-on-1, but I feel like it covers a wide range for me. So the 6-on-2 double-breasted, and the double-breasted meaning that the fabric is going over twice across the chest. So once here, being buttoned on the inside. Don't forget that button, guys. That's a huge issue sometimes. You'll see guys just go across and button up here. And what that does is, when you have the jacket on, it causes a very horrible wrinkle where the lapel and the underlining of the first flap meet. And it's just horrible to see. So never forget the button on the inside. It lays that first part of the fabric down and then causes it to be real clean across the front. So with this construction, I feel that it is necessary, just as the 2-button single-breasted would be, for every man to have in their wardrobe. This particular style is for, I guess, the individual that wants to take their suiting to the next level. You're very much so common to seeing the single-breasted, even the 3-piece single-breasted, as I have on today with the additional waistcoat, but you don't see the double-breasted as often. So this is definitely for individuals that want to take their wardrobe to the next level, as well as for our guys that are a little bit more heavy set. The double-breasted really slims you out a lot more. So keep that in mind as well. If you have a little bit more in the mid area, look to wearing double-breasted suits. Now, there are a few things with the double-breasted that you want to bear in mind. The lapels being the main thing here. On a double-breasted suit, you want to have the lapels a little bit larger than you would your standard single-breasted suits. So this one, let me grab my tape measure here. to see what I have this one at. So yeah, this is a 4.5-inch lapel. So typically you'll see your lapels around 3-inch, sometimes even 2 inches, which I don't typically like to do, but 3-inch lapels would be like a standard 3.5-inch. On a double-breasted, you want to go 4 and up. Nothing under 4 inches on a double-breasted. It just really doesn't sit right. The next thing is the style of lapel. Always, always, always peak. Never a notch lapel on a double-breasted jacket. It is very unflattering, and yeah, it just does not suit the shape of the coat. So yeah, wide lapels, 4 inches and up. If you want to go to 5 inches, 5.5 inches, it still looks very, very beautiful. The broadness that it gives to the shoulders, great lapel size. So the minimum 4 inches, and always peak lapel. So where you can see this jacket is, like I said, taking your wardrobe to the next level in the business arena, but also the 4-on-2 you will see very often at boating events like yacht parties, derbies, things of that sort. You will see a lot of 4-on-2 construction jackets, as well as the 6-on-1. You'll see it there. The 6-on-2 are very much so seen in the business settings. Bankers love the 6-on-2 construction. It's a great look. And then, of course, the pockets, the 2-on-1 flat pockets always look great. Or you can do the besom pockets, which are the slash pockets. And this is another cool feature I want to show you guys, which works on any flap pocket. So if you are designing a custom suit and you can't really decide between the besom, the slash pockets, or the flap pockets, I recommend going with the flap for this specific reason. You can turn your flap pockets into besom pockets and vice versa if you want to. So I can turn these in and cause them to go from flat pockets into besom pockets if I want to do a different style. If I want to mix it up one day. So yeah, the 6-button double-breasted. That is going to be the last suit jacket we're going to look at today. So to recap, we went over the 1-button blazer, which can be worn as a casual look with jeans, chinos, contrasting pants, as far as like the camel colored brown pants that I showed. So you can do something like that. Those will be very nice for late afternoon dinners, business settings like that, going to get drinks with colleagues, weekend brunch events. The blazer works perfectly for those type of settings. Date nights, it's a great wardrobe choice. Definitely something that every man should have in his wardrobe. From there, your 2-piece suit, which would be your jacket and your pants matching. So we looked at that construction with the 2-button, great construction. And you can also remove the pants and have it just as a blazer as well. That's acceptable. Then you go to, which I did not explain, the 3-piece suit, which is what I have on. All the difference is you have a matching vest on the inside. So that's a little bit more formal than the 2-piece jacket and pants. So it's taking your wardrobe up just a tad bit more when it comes to the 2-piece suit look. So from there, we get into the 3-button construction that we looked at, which we had the 2-on-3 with that false hidden button type of construction. Doesn't really serve much of a purpose, just really a style thing. And then we have the 3-button, the 3-on-3, which we saw in a beautiful British tweed hunting jacket. And that definitely serves its purpose as a hunting jacket, something you'll see more so in the wintertime, just getting a little bit more closure on the chest there. And finally, we come to our 6-button double-breasted construction. And we know that we can see this in a full 6-button, 6-on-2, 6 buttons and 2 functional. We can see it in a 6-on-1, where the bottom one is buttoned. We can also see it in a 4-on-2, 4 buttons with 2 functional. or a 2-on-1, 2 buttons, 1 functional. Now, always, always, always remember on the double-breasted, lapel size over 4 inches. So 4 inches is the minimum. Don't go smaller, it doesn't really suit the actual suit. And then the lapel style, you want to do peak lapel, always peak lapel, never notch lapel. And then pocket-wise, on all the suits, if you choose to do the flap pocket, you get multiple options, whether flap or besom / pockets. And another cool pocket you can do, which leads for it to be more casual, which would be the patch pockets. So the rounded patch pockets. You'll find that on this suit here. So these would be your patch pockets. Yeah. So those are some options as far as suits go that I feel every gentleman should have in his wardrobe. Have to have a blazer, have to have a 2-piece. You can do a 3-piece if it suits you. If not, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. Definitely a double-breasted suit. And the 3-button construction, not really that that necessary, but those are things that you can add later on just to mix it up a bit. Alrighty, so we're gonna close it out on that note. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Conversations at the Manor, with a focus today on different types of suits a gentleman should have in his wardrobe. So if you're in the area and you're in need of more hands-on, one-on-one help with your wardrobe, figuring out what works for your style and defining your image, stop by Mr. Classics Haberdashery. I'm right off of 10th Street in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's design something classic together. Now, as always, I will end as I began, and that's going to be with a delicious cup of organic Earl Grey tea. I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Stay classy, my friends. Cheers.